Hello and welcome back to a Lap Down podcast first. It is our first ever outdoor episode, and by that I mean it's hot today, so I've decided to sit on the patio. But I'm here in my festive shirt. Dan is particularly under the weather this week. I've dragged him into the studio, so if he sounds a little bit funky, or if he sniffles, or if he coughs, or if he sneezes, let him off. He's a poorly boy. He doesn't feel well. So I won't ask him how he is. I'll ask him, Dan, are you missing F1, my friend?
I think I am. Everything feels like it's all gone quite quiet, but still remains quite busy at the same time. It's amazing how, when the wheels have been taken off the car for the final time, that all of these social media accounts still have a whole bunch of content. Have a break, lads. Put your iPhone 7s down for 5 minutes, put them back in the drawer, and just chill out for a week. We don't need to know what your Christmas tree looks like at Enstone. Like we just enjoy the downtime, because you're going to be back in Barcelona in like 3 weeks' time in the snow, testing out your new 2026 Formula One cars and seeing how good they are at clearing snow down a braking zone and stuff like that. Have some time off, like we did.
And I was going to say, before we move on to the usual stuff of hitting like and subscribe, schedule's going to be a bit funky for the next couple of weeks. You'll live. We'll work out when we've got something to say about F1. We barely have anything to say at the best of times. So over the next couple of weeks, there might be some strange scheduling. But then when you put it like that, it was sort of half a jokey sentence, but also we're like 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away from loud noises again around tracks, but they look very different now. That's come around bloody quick already, hasn't it? Like, cheesy peeps. I know we've got earlier testing and longer testing next year, but yeah, we're nearly going again.
Yeah, it's quite mad. It is genuinely mad. Like, there just does not feel like there has been a break at all, does there? It's all, the dust has settled on this so quickly, to the point that immediately, and we're going to talk about engine noises, but immediately now you have to scroll back down through the feed of a Formula One team to find out what the 2026 car is going to look like. That's how quick they were to post up what we have to look forward to next year. So yeah, it's quite mad. It is quite mad. I'm look, we've got new regs. I don't give a shit about the noise anymore. It's never going to be a V10, is it? Like it used to be in the good old days, and they used to scream at people as they used to drive past them, and you have to used to have people wearing these things stood half a mile away because they were too loud for them. But the fact that we've got new regs and it gives you that kind of what's inside the box as to who's going to be competitive. Is everybody going to be competitive? Has anybody got it right? Have they all got it right? It's exciting. We probably know what's going to happen, but it's still exciting anyway.
Yeah, can I throw it out there that what I am, and this kind of goes on, we're going to do some Christmas wishes later, but this kind of leads into that a little bit. You say they're like, oh, who's got it right? I would fucking love it if they all got it wrong. Like, there would be nothing better than, like, most of next season, half the cars not being able to make it through turn 3 without going at, like, 60 mile an hour because they can't turn the thing or something. Or just, I am all in on just a calamitous season where, yeah, I want battling at the back because I want 22 pricks with cars that are just absolute donkey tractors, not knowing what's going on. I would love that. I'm not going to get it, but I would love that.
But if you have 22, the donkey racing at the back becomes the donkey racing at the front.
Yeah, but if they're all donkeys, I feel like watching donkey racing is probably more fun than watching horse racing. So it would be.
The thing is, I guess you'd rather. I don't know actually, because even if it turns out to be terrible, it's still going to be good. That I suppose is the thing that I've now just kind of decided what's going to happen in my mind. But it would be quite funny to see just the occasional like whoopsie daisy, you know, not like the huge kind of shunt or the huge crash, but like, oh, whoopsie daisy, I've run out of grip and I'm now just kind of like stuck in a gravel trap from like third in the race, because there's just that little bit of extra jeopardy in there. It won't happen, but it could be kind of funny. A little bit more whoopsie daisy in the world of Formula One could be a good thing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And we'll probably do more talking about, well, we will. This is how a podcast works. We'll do more talking about 26 and what we're looking ahead to with that. But can I just say, I really don't care how fast Formula One cars go, which I appreciate sounds really strange. But there's a lot of chat about like, oh, the 26 regs are going to be 4 seconds a lap slower around Silverstone than they were last year. Okay. It doesn't make any difference to me watching on the telly whether they're doing a 123 or a 127. I'm watching it for racing, and they're still going insanely fucking quickly. It doesn't. If we get better racing at 98% of the speed that they were going last year, yes, please. I would much prefer that than them be going 3 seconds a lap quicker than they were last year. But we're back to 6-second gaps from 1 down to 22.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to notice 4 seconds, are you, over the course of 5.5 miles or whatever that length is of Silverstone? But if it suddenly, I'd just say you don't care about it. If it suddenly kind of turned out to be like a batch full of Citroen C1s kind of plonking around and end up doing like an 8-minute lap time of Silverstone Grand Prix circuit, I think you might have something to say about it. But I appreciate what you're saying. And I guess that's the beauty of motor racing generally, is the fact that we've got so many different formulas that you can then go and find the bit of racing that you might want or enjoy, because there are different ways to go and consume it at different speeds. Should they be made slower? I don't necessarily think they'll stay slower for that long. Like 4 seconds won't be that much for them to catch up on it once they've figured themselves out. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being quicker once they've got all of the moving parts and everything they've got sorted out. This is meant to be the pinnacle, though, isn't it? This is meant to be the fastest. It's meant to be the best. It's meant to be... And I realise you would never be able to get to a point where Silverstone becomes a 15-second lap time because they're going at 1,003 miles an hour or something. But it seems odd, doesn't it, at the very, very top, that things are being made slower.
Yeah, though I will, just to be a prick about it, I will say that drag racers, I think, are quicker than Formula One cars.
Probably,
they just don't go around corners very well.
They're not as good at the wiggly bits.
But then how are we defining pinnacle at that point? Because I'm saying if it's not about raw speed, because dragsters have got raw speed covered, planes arguably have raw speed covered. If we're not going for like just that top speed MPH, I'm saying pinnacle of engineering ability and racing. I would much prefer. Yeah. And on that point, don't give a fuck what they sound like. This is going to get me a lot of hatred online. And hello, if you're following Lapdown Pod on any of our various pipes, they all sound like cars to me. They all look like cars. They all sound like cars. It's because they're cars. I appreciate I don't have that golden era F1 nostalgia of perhaps what they used to sound like.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was the, Aston Martin video that they put out, and there's people digesting it in the comments, and you watched it before we started recording. You went, oh, it sounds a bit like 25. And I said, it also sounds a bit like 1971, as far as I'm concerned. So, meow, job done.
Look, for 25 to 26, the 25 cars were so unmemorable, I wouldn't really be able to tell you how big of a difference it was from 25 to 26. So there's kind of the issue there. We're never going to get the V10s back, and they were the bits. And I think they're those things, right? As I've never been to a Formula One Grand Prix, but I have been to events where the Formula One cars have driven past at full tilt and stuff like that. And at that point there, I think you get it, because everything feels like it shakes and it vibrates around you. And I know that might sound really silly, but when you've got kind of a pack of them and they're flying past you, and you kind of think, why are my shoes vibrating? You go, it's because 15 V10 Formula One cars have driven past. And I think we've only got so many senses, right? Mm-hmm. And sound at that point was incredibly satisfied by Formula One senses. I don't necessarily think smell's there anymore when you go back in time, and all you could do was smell was like petrol smoke and exhaust fumes and stuff. So you're running out of senses to be stimulated by Formula One now. And if we could go back to the V10s, we'd have a little bit more sound stimulation back for us boffins and nerds.
Yeah. I mean, I watch it with the telly speakers, though, anyway. So
no, that's fine. Yeah,
my telly don't rumble, which is probably where a lot of it comes from. That there's like secondary sound sensors, if that makes sense as a thing. But yeah,
I tell you what. If the diaries line up, come down south. We'll go to Goodwood, and we'll kind of stand around and watch some Formula One cars bomb around and stuff like that. And then we'll see. Maybe we do a live episode. Does Alex still think V10s are shit?
First of all, we've gone from an outside episode, and now we're going an outside in public episode. This is all getting book the tour. Dan, book the tour. Get the theaters lined up.
Fueled by a carbonated energy drink.
Yes. Shout out Dan too.
What a guy.
Portimao's back, which is a bit exciting.
Yeah,
because
fine.
I like that in the game, and that's our measure of whether a track is good or not. And yeah, it's good. It's a fun track. It's nice to see it back on the calendar. Yeah, happy boy.
Yeah, look, as you said, it looks fun to drive. I can't really remember. I think there were 2 big overtaking spots into it. I don't necessarily think it was one of those ones where you could overtake everywhere. I think it was a bit Qatari. Well, maybe a bit better.
I should say as well, I assume I'm thinking of the right track. Portimao's
the one
got
that's like...
But there's quite a big elevation change. You kind of go
it
up
looks
over
like
a hill down a straight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I know what's up.
Yeah.
I have an F1 podcast, mate. It's
you
fine.
know your things because you've already just said how much you enjoy driving it, so you knew exactly what it was you were talking about. Because if you didn't,
that might not have been Portimao. That might have been, who knows? Might have been Silverstone backwards.
Could have been France.
Yeah. Fuck the French. It wasn't the French.
Useless. If anybody wants to be the co-host of the Lapdown podcast, please get in contact because Alex is on thin ice. No, it's good. It is good. It's a good circuit. It looks fun. The drivers like it, so that can only be a good thing.
Yeah. Thoughts on this idea now that we're going into more of a rotational F1 calendar? There's rumours, I don't think it's particularly confirmed, that Barcelona is actually going to keep its place, but it's going to keep it as part of a rotation, and that Spa's going to be in that rotation, that maybe Imola's going to be in that rotation. Obviously, we've now got Portimao is on a 2-year contract for 27 and 28. Personally, I don't mind it. I actually quite like the idea that, fixture reveal, where are we going this year? Oh, shit, we're going to Portimao this year. Like, obviously, we're going to know in advance, but... like the calendar reveal at the minute is a non-event almost. It would be cool if that actually that was a big build-up moment again. Yeah,
I don't hate it. I just think it's got to be done very, very right. To think you mentioned Imola there. If Imola, not Imola actually. No, sorry, I thought you said Monza then for some reason. Imola's fine. Like, if that went on a rotational thing, not a problem. Spa to me would be one that I would be disappointed to see, but at the same time I realise there aren't exactly an abundance of Belgian Formula One drivers and everything like that, so there is a market to play for. So I don't hate it. It would then baffle me to think that there's then kind of the Miami Car Park Grand Prix that's been given a 28-year contract because dollars and cents, isn't it? That's what that provides. We know what that provides. It doesn't provide anything else other than that. So yeah, I don't know. There feels like there would have to be some non-negotiables. There feels like there would always have to be one in Australia. There feels like there would always have to be one in Silverstone and Monza, Monaco.
Nope.
Have one in
for you
the
to say
States.
that.
Huh?
I was waiting for you to say Monaco, and I was waiting to jump in and say nope, get rid.
Has to be there. But maybe there should be. Maybe more effort should be to get one back in Kyalami or somewhere like that. Suzuka should have to be there, I feel, just to make sure that it does continue to be a global sport and doesn't become kind of we'll rotate a particular area out of it when it's convenient to do so.
Yeah, and I think it does seem to be Europe that they are looking to cycle through more. And if we think about the concentration of tracks in terms of actual mileage, it does sort of make sense. And also we've only got so many races a year, and there are plenty. I mean, you've rattled off a load of tracks there that are non-negotiables, and we've almost filled half the calendar already. So and we've got to have Mario Kart in soon as well, don't we? So that's true. That's exciting. But yeah, I can't
see any of those kind of Middle Eastern countries being rotated in and out, can you? With the Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi, UAE, Dubai Grand Prix.
Yeah, but the oil, mate. Oil.
True, we can't make Formula One cars go vroom without a bit of oil, so.
No. And and we've got paint to talk about, which I didn't expect to have paint to talk about in this episode. I thought this might be the one pod of the year that was paintless. But not only have we got paint, we've got 2 lots of paint. Because there's been the most exciting livery reveal for 26 has already happened. and it was from Pirelli. Have you seen, Dan, the reveal of the official tyre markings for 2026?
It has actually passed me by, this.
Oh, you fake fan.
Looks like,
You're a DTS fan. You don't know what the Pirelli tyre markings look like for next year, you prick. While Dan looks this up, I can tell you that they look very similar to last year, except they put a bit of a checkered flag design on them now. So, apart from that, they're all exactly the same colour.
I don't want to watch a reel about them. Just show me the fucking photos.
It's December, mate. They need to get content out.
Why would I want to watch a reel about tyres? Just show me. Right, so you've got 2 seconds of it at the end of it where you actually get like a... Jesus Christ, I can't believe you've made me look at that.
I didn't make you do anything. I gave you the information you need and you chose to watch a reel.
Now, if anybody would like to apply for my role in the Lapdown podcast, email lapdownpod@gmail.com. And actually turns out that both roles here at the podcast are now available. Pays very poorly. Yes. Does require you to do all your own editing and research, or none of the research, as we've just found out. Yes. And you must continue to call the now fired Helmut Marko a cunt fossil. Yes.
Which is, I mean, that news dropped like just after we'd recorded our last episode, that we didn't get a chance. Sorry, let me rephrase. I didn't get a chance to revel in and dance upon the freshly covered over grave of that fossil like some sort of reverse archaeologist. But yeah, that is fuck him off. Great.
Yeah,
it's wonderful stuff.
No wonder Isaac Hadjar signed the contract.
Yeah, straight in. And our second bit of paint is actually car paint. It's another Williams banger. I mean, we're going to do a bang board for liveries in the next episode, whenever that is. We've told you there isn't a schedule. But they've already announced their testing livery. They let fans decide what it is. And great. Like it. Looks nice. Kind of scratchy on the top there. I'm all for it.
Yeah, don't mind it. Wouldn't hate it if it was the thing that was run through. It won't be, because they've got sponsors they need to kind of make happy and things like that. But yeah, they've put some effort in. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the effort that they've put in. Do they set themselves up for a bit of a fail when they announce that their 2026 livery for the season looks nothing like that? And maybe, I don't know. Williams, to be fair, they feel like they'll be one of the ones that could get a livery right, though. So don't necessarily feel like they're completely dead in the water yet. But I don't know. To kind of run something cool on a testing livery and then go, well, you've had your fun. Back to dark blue and black now.
Yeah, fair. Do we still have wheel covers in the 26 regs, do you know? This goes back to the research element that Dan was talking about before. We don't do a huge amount of it. Rosie?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Rosie, do we still have wheel covers?
Feels like we would.
Yeah. But then the tyres got small again. Well, not small, but the tyres have shrunk back down again. We don't have to
I think you can make smaller wheel covers.
Thick-ass tyres anymore. Yeah, but at least they're open to changing them.
True.
I guess. And we're not trying to get rid of all like dirty air anymore, are we? No. I don't know. I probably should pay more attention. I've got an F1 podcast.
Are Lego going to re-release all of the Speed Champions for the 2026 regs?
Oh, did we talk about this? That I'm two actually, because of the McLaren you got me. I'm 2 out of 10 through doing the Speed Champions because Mr. Express sent me a pack of all 10 of them for Christmas.
Oh, unbelievable.
So, yeah, flying through. Right. We opened the mailbox up in our last episode, and there is some mail. The little flag has gone up. We've got 3 lots of mail to go through, one of which we're going to ignore half of. But we'll get to that in a second, and it's for good reason. But we mentioned him before earlier. We'll start with Dan 2, friend of the show. I will say Dan 2 now is. Now, Dan sends us wonderful emails, and they're not emails that we can read out because they are just works of poetry that would take up most of the podcast, but they do fill me with joy when I get to read them. But Dan asked a question. This was actually not specifically for the mailbag. He sent this in just after the last episode. It was actually about... I think it might have dropped when we were recording that, so we missed that again.
He probably knows the podcast better than what we do, I think is what we've established.
He knows the schedule that doesn't exist.
Yes. He knew we were going to ask for these things before we asked for them.
Yes. And he's got a good one. Which we had a little chat about this beforehand, that you've already admitted you're going to struggle with because your knowledge of the subject matter is poor. But Dan asks, and I'm going to paraphrase, basically, he has proposed a an end of year charity Grand Prix, right? Where we take all of the drivers in their cars, but we swap out their race engineers and we put celebrities in there for charity, etc. It's fun. You can put it on the telly. Channel 4 will cover it. And he wants to know which celebrities would we like to see in some of those race engineer seats, and if possible, who do we want them with? So he suggested Gino D'Acampo with Charles Leclerc, just so that we can have two crazy Italians. He's not Italian. He's, from Monaco. So,
Who's Gino D'Acampo?
If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike from the cooking show.
Oh, he's a chef.
He does daytime telly. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Daytime.
Yeah, nice.
That's the level that Dan's at. Team with,
celebrities aren't really my thing. If I'm being quite frank with you, and I have done a Google. I've Googled things because I feel like I need to research. Did you just Google
celebrities just to see who came up?
No, more specific than that. I put UK popular celebrities. And I realised that popular celebrities might be a bit of an oxymoron, because I guess you can't be a celebrity if you're not popular. But anyway,
surely Dula
I found this
on
website,
there.
and it's called yougov.co.uk. And I feel like if it's got the word gov in it, it feels like it should be a relatively important thing, right?
They're a respected analytics surveying platform.
Good. So there's a top 20 here. And there are a few here that I just want to discredit straight away, because I don't necessarily believe these people can be considered celebrities. Boris Johnson, politician. You're not a celebrity.
He's a celebrity. Everyone knows who Boris is.
Vladimir Putin.
Blue passport.
Vladimir Putin is at 3. He's a politician. He's not a celebrity. Get rid of him. Rishi Sunak is 8. Again, politician, not a celebrity. Get in the bin. Who else is in there? William Prince of Wales. I mean, are you a celebrity? Are you?
So just to confirm, have you called him William Prince?
That's what it says. William. No, his full name here on this website is William Prince of Wales. That's what he says. Don't
I thought
come
you were
for
posing
me.
him as.
No, don't come for me. I am just reading this as how it comes off his website.
You're not
and then
calling
David
him
Cameron,
the South African cricketer's brother. It's not
David
Ashwell's brother.
Cameron. Yeah, David Cameron's in at 20. First of all, how is he still relevant? Second of all, he's not a celebrity. He's a civil servant. All of those
just Googled a list of politicians.
No, 5 of those 20 people on the most famous people for quarter 3 for 2025 on yougov.co.uk are civil servants.
But did you Google celebrities or famous people? Because I would argue all those people are famous.
Look, if you were listening, I said popular celebrities.
But is that what the website says, Daniel?
I don't care. These people, I don't care. I don't like them. But I have.
So what I'm hearing is you want David Cameron as Lewis Hamilton's race engineer. Is what I'm hearing.
But I've got 4 driver race engineer pairings, which I think would be good. I assume you've got some as well.
I've got some.
I would like to go for a bit of Jeremy Clarkson and a bit of Lando Norris.
Mine. You've stolen my Jeremy Clarkson off the list that I sent you first of all.
Who are you going to drive him with?
Now, I'm going to be honest. Most of my pairings are with Lance Stroll because it would be funny. So, I would like to put Jeremy Clarkson with Lance Stroll because I think that's real Clarkson and Hammond energy again. That is fine. Hammond, you idiot type business, isn't it? When he's driving willingly into gravel traps in Brazil, you can just imagine Jezza coming on the radio. You've done Anne crash. Incredible.
Yeah, fine. Okay, you can have him. I'll offer you the next one, and I think this is quite funny. I'll go for Donald Trump and Sergio Perez.
Oh, Donald Trump, I suppose he's actually sorry. It's a very good political banter from you. We'll come back to that. But you've from your upset before, you've gone off at YouGov for lifting politicians as celebrities, and then your first choice is a politician.
No, second choice because I had Jeremy Clarkson at 1.
1.5 choice.
Also, how is Donald Trump not in the top 20 on YouGov, but Vladimir Putin is, and Rishi Sunak and David Cameron? Anyway, Trump and Perez. There's my driver pairing number 2.
That's good from you. That is, you don't often get deep geopolitical banter on this podcast, and when it does show up, though, it is a joy. It is an absolute joy.
Bit of ice going on.
Well, they put the dry ice at the race start, don't they?
So, very true.
I'm lowering the bar again. I'm saying Gordon Ramsay with Lance Stroll because I just like to hear him call just various names. What are you, Canadian idiot sandwich, donkey, etc. I just think Gordon Ramsay down a crackly radio to Lance Stroll, stunning.
A lot of Lance Stroll bullying. Okay, I'm going to go with Aston Martin this time. Ooh. And I feel like this is attainable, being a high mark British brand. And I'm going to take their other driver. I'm going to take Fernando Alonso, the senior guy that sometimes gets a little bit short and fractious over a radio message. And I'm going to pair him up with the legend that is Sir David Attenborough.
Ooh, okay.
I feel
so
that
at that
would be
point,
wonderful.
Yeah, we're just sort of calming Fernando, and they're about the same age as well. So that's
they'll have a lot in common.
It's just the old boys club, isn't it?
Yeah,
I like
Horlicks, Radio Times, slippers. Yeah. They'll have plenty to talk about between the two of them.
Could you get a word as original in the cockpit?
I think you could. And I feel like at the moment that David Attenborough has taken 3 laps to provide Fernando Alonso with whatever important piece of information that he needed to have, Fernando Alonso would have lost his shit at David Attenborough, and it just would have been a good combo. So there's my second driver pairing.
But then you can't lose your shit at David Attenborough because it's David Attenborough. So I think he's immune to having someone lose their shit at him. Yep. And I think Fernando would respect that. He's going to be a father. He has to do these things now. He has to be a nice dad now. Yeah. So he would, he might win because he might have to like internalize what he'd like to be saying to David, but can't say, and he might put that into his braking foot and just start dive bombing the shit out of everyone, win by a lap and a half.
Yep, done.
It's a good shout.
You got any others?
And then my last one is actually, I mean, it feels almost like a freebie in a sense, but I would like to hear Danny Rick do some do some race engineering.
Yeah, with who?
Because I just think any of the pricks, to be honest, because I think he would be like, and guess what? I'm going to reference cricket on this F1 podcast again. No. We've never done that before. We've just had Alyssa Healy come in and do some commentary.
I don't like cricket anymore.
During the Ashes, and she is a current player. She's also happens to be the wife of one of the current players in the Australian men's team. But it's great because you get genuine insight from a current player who knows what they're talking about, but they're also very intelligent and quite well spoken. And I also think Danny Rick's all those things about Formula One. So I actually think he would be, I think he'd probably be very good. But I just, maybe him and like a Carlos Sainz, just because I think that's just two very good, well-spoken, good on the radio. Shout out Rosie Collins, by the way, who did give us some wonderful stats from a couple of weeks ago where we asked about how often Carlos Sainz is on the radio with his team. She actually went and did the maths for us. The maths backed up exactly what we were saying, and that's the kind of maths we like, is the maths that says we were correct. Do you have any more to finish? Have you got
yes,
one
I do,
more
actually.
politician or celebrity?
I do, and I must admit, I'm glad that you managed to slide an Australian celebrity in there, because after Steve Irwin and that Mr. Harris bloke, they're kind of running out of well-known Australian celebrities. So to get Danny Rick in there is good. I would like to finish it off with my third driver pairing, and I think this guy counts as a celebrity. Well, I know he does, but it's a little bit controversial. I'm going to go for Sir Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. I feel like that could be but I don't. I just feel like that we would need to have a Max Verstappen that's just struggling a little bit, you know. And I feel like a Lewis Hamilton that just kind of takes over, and I feel like that could be an interesting little dynamic there.
Who's in the car and who's on mic there? Are they alternating lap for lap?
Verstappen's driving.
Okay.
And what I would like to hear from Hamilton is just drive over him like you did me in Monza. Type thing.
So it's just going to be a load of like side mouth business from Lewis, just mumbling. Fucking you don't dip a wheel up the inside at cops, do you?
I feel like there's value there.
Yeah, no, I'll take it. Good stuff. Thank you, Dan.
Nice.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got, and I will drop it in here. We've got our first ever bit of actual team radio.
Do you want me to do the radio
checking
noise?
in from the pit wall. Here it goes.
Boopity boop. Rosie Collins from the Lap Pad, and my questions are: what was your favorite livery from the 2025 season, and why was it that stunning Haas in Japan? Secondly, what colors do you think Cadillac will choose for their livery, and will you be watching the Super Bowl in order to see the livery revealed? Anyways, love y'all's pod. Thanks.
So we're going to ignore the first part of the team radio, which is the one I said we were going to ignore earlier, and that's only because Rosie's gone a little bit early. We will be doing, in our next episode, as we usually do, our Bangboard tier list of liveries for the year. So we'll cover that in there. But the second half is a very good question that we haven't actually pondered yet, bearing in mind we are the official paint chat suppliers that are unofficial to Formula One. What are Cadillac doing next year, Dan? What do you reckon? We haven't really had much tease from them. It feels like there's a lot of black going on, though.
Yeah, that's kind of. I feel like Cadillac strike me as a bit of a black and silver type brand. I don't know much
I was thinking
about
black
Cadillac.
and gold.
They don't really spend much time in the shores of the UK, do they? Cadillac,
No.
generally speaking,
Or
are they
else.
available in Australia? Like, can you buy a
Probably
Cadillac?
if you import it, but I don't think there's not a dealership you're going down to.
I was going to say, I was just going to have a Google and see whether you could actually buy a Cadillac. CliveSutton.co.uk. If you're listening, you can sponsor
G'day,
us.
Clive.
Oh, tell you what, would you be interested in a 2025 Cadillac Escalade?
Oh, here we go. Isn't that the really long one?
Yeah, it's the one that if you were the president of the United States and you needed a motorcade, you would have several of these. £230,000, or £6,600 on an HP monthly payment thing.
Surely we're not doing personal contract leasing on a Cadillac Escalade. Fuck me.
You could do.
I could see it being a lot of black and gold. I could see it being like the Rich Energy Haas but in a slightly without a dickhead leading the whole thing.
That's so good. That's brilliant. Imagine them turning up in the same outfit that Haas started their Formula One journey in. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that's how I see it. I mean, I'd love to sit there and say they're going to be like all stars and stripes and spangled banners and bombs and rockets in the air and stuff like that and eagles. I think that's pretty unlikely, isn't it? Have they got merch yet, Cadillac? Does that give us any indication?
I think so. We got Sergio Perez as driver number. He's going to drive with number 11, funnily enough.
Tommy Hilfiger is going to be Cadillac's team official apparel partner.
Okay.
I don't think that gives you any indication as to what the car's going to look like. The
I
website
can-
is all very black and white with kind of very, very subtle, like red, white, and blue kind of accents here and there.
I can see them running with a very basic livery, I think, next year. I don't picture them coming in really loud. I think they might do a couple of loud specials, but I can see their base livery being actually quite boring because I think if I'm Cadillac, I need maximum beans sponsor rev to get me going. I need signing bonuses. I need cash injection. And the best way to do that is to make those logos as visible as possible on the side of that car. So I can see it being a little bit NASCAR-y and a bit Logo City and not having a huge amount of room for design, unfortunately. I might be completely wrong. It might be the other way. But I can just see
it's
it
not
being
what I
a bit-
want, but it's not what I want, but that's the way I see. That's the way I see Cadillac going. But we will support them because they will be, as we've said several times, the preferred team of the Lapdown podcast.
Yes. Do we need to put in the diary? Is there like a probation? Because we've never had a preferred team of the Lapdown podcast before.
No, we
That's
haven't,
new for
actually.
26. Do we need to have like a probationary period and a review race where we just assess whether they are living up to our expectations as the preferred team?
We could do. Do we give them 6 grand? If here's my criteria, right? And for Dan, Rosie, and Tom and Ryan, who are going to be the only 4 listeners that we have of the podcast, you can hold us accountable to this. We'll give you 6 Grand Prix, Cadillac. If you are scratching our itches, if you are satisfying us at that point, I think for race 7, we invest in a Cadillac Formula One team hat.
Wow. Okay. You're suggesting we're going to have a sponsor by next year if we're buying hats because that is going to be money, dollars of. You've led, though, nicely actually into, because we are good at segues on this podcast. It's almost like we know what we're doing at like 75 episodes in, or at least. Tom has sent a question in, American Tom, which is all about Cadillac, to be honest. So we have covered a little bit of this already, but the summary of the question is, are we prepared to have them as our preferred team, which I think we've just gone into there. I think there's probably a future episode early next year, I think, where we start to lay out, I think, some of those KPIs for what it actually means to be the preferred team of the Lapdown Pod. On a more serious note, what to expect from them as a team. And to finish it off, will there be a civil war with Haas? Which I think we've kind of addressed a little bit in the past, where it feels like Haas have abandoned their Yankee Doodle Dandy kind of stuff now and are basically just a manufacturing team rather than America's team. But what do you expect from Cadillac next year? We are so early on trying to throw any level of prediction around. Yeah. So I guess I'll phrase it to you in two ways. I'll say, what do you expect from them? And then what's a really good result for Cadillac next year?
I think probably what I expect is kicking around at the back with an Alpine and a who are they going to be? Audi, aren't they, next year? Audi, those kind of teams is probably what that's what I expect. In terms of what I think would be a good thing would be if they are kicking around and are competitive with those teams. It feels like it's been ages since we've actually had a new team join the grid. When was the last time that we had 11 cars on a Formula One? 11 teams
pre-me.
On a Formula One team. It was way before DTS, wasn't it? And I think at that point there, you're going back to the likes of, and obviously this predates you, but there was a Spanish team called HRT, not hormone replacement therapy. I think it was called like Hispania Racing Team or something. And there was Minardi. Who was kicking around at that point? Anyway, I think we had 12 teams at that point, and 2 of which have died, and one of which Midland, I think, was another one that was kicking around. And they're so far off the pace that the actual commentary side of things were focusing more about that
114 or something.
Yeah, 114% rule in order so they can legitimately qualify for the Grand Prix. I think at the point that comes up in conversation on the broadcast, then I think Cadillac have got a big problem, because I don't necessarily think the general American market accepts and supports if you're that far off it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think with the talent they've poached, and they've had a decently long runway from, if we're to believe the talk of how long they've actually been testing things. And they've been doing, according to them, full race weekend simulations as if they were in that race for the last few actually live Grand Prix of the year, and sort of having, dress rehearsals. Yeah. You'd like to think that they should come in and at least be able to complete a Grand Prix adequately. To answer my own question, I think if they don't finish last every week, I think that's a fucking good result, realistically. Yeah. And I don't even think that, even if they do finish last every week, but if they're finishing last by a second or two, even that might be a good result. I mean, it's not easy to come in. He says it's not easy to come into Formula One. It helps, obviously, they're coming in with a regulation change, I think, but just don't embarrass yourself, I think, is almost, year one, don't embarrass yourself. Maybe you pull off a surprise bit of absolute luck on a safety car or some strategy or something, and you pull off some points. But yeah, just don't embarrass yourself, I think, is the simple of it.
Yeah, and I think, like, I've just gone back on Wikipedia. I think you're going back to like 2012 when we had Caterham, HRT, and Marisha in there, and it would be fair to say that the majority of them, I don't necessarily know where, did they embarrass themselves, or was just so little expected of them? That's the other thing. Like, I want people to expect something from Cadillac. Yeah. I don't want people to think, oh yeah, well, they're just going to sit at the back and make the numbers up. No, I like, let's talk about a Cadillac team, and let's have a surprise kind of Nico Hulkenberg Q3 appearance from a Cadillac driver.
Yeah.
All of these teams now on a particular day, regardless of how shit they are across the course of an entire season, even an Alpine had a moment, didn't it, where it was like, oh, Pierre Gasly, how's he got where he's got, type thing. This is what I want from Cadillac. I don't just want it to be 8 races in and just going, oh, well, the 2 Cadillacs have been eliminated from Q1. Once again, they will start 22nd and 21st for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix tomorrow, type thing. I don't want that. I want it to be a case of, oh, great performance by Valtteri Bottas, who just missed out on Q3 by 0.3 of a second or something. That's what I want from them.
At least let's watch the stopwatch on him. Like, I want to be checking. Maybe he's in P13 and then gets bumped down and does miss out, but at least get out of the drop zone.
Let's have them relevant.
Yeah. Do we? This is me asking for you to have any level of knowledge or research. Quali next year, Q1, is it still 15 through, or do we lose 7 now instead of 5, or are we going to like 16? Are we just losing more to start with now and then the same format?
Yeah, I mean, you screwed me over to start with the expectation that I had any form of knowledge or research. I don't actually know. I mean, it's there. I can Google it.
Hey, have a look. Why not? While you Google it, I'll tell everyone to take this opportunity while Dan goes and does some busy work that we could have done before the pod. Hit like, hit subscribe, maybe leave a little comment, maybe leave a little review, share it with someone. Do all of those things because they help. Got a big old year coming. We have some exciting new things coming on the way as well for 26. And get in touch with us as well. lapdownpod@gmail.com. Yes, you don't know about them. I'm making them. Lapdownpod@gmail.com is the email address currently. That you can send your thoughts to. You can send us a Team Radio voice note like Rosie Collins did. You can send us emails, whatever. Get in touch. Let's make it the People's Podcast. It's as much yours as ours. Dan has stopped typing, which suggests he has an answer.
6, 6, and 10.
Okay. So we're looking for the top 16 to start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so they have just split it. That's fine. I'm on board with that, I think. That makes sense to me.
It's fine. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Happy with it.
It's done.
Happy with it.
Love it. What's next?
Right. Let's finish off because it's the festive season. We are recording this on the 23rd of December. There are sleigh bells jingling, etc. And I want to know, Dan, what are your Christmas wishes for Formula One next year? What is on your list to F1 Fathery Christmas? What do you want him to bring you for the 26th season?
Nice. I've got 3.
Oh, here we go.
I've got 3 wishes. I'm not asking for... Well, I don't know. Am I asking for a lot? I don't know. This one follows on from what we've literally just been speaking about. Mm-hmm. I would like Cadillac to be on pace. That would be that would be the thing. And I don't want to go back through what we've just spoken about, but that would be my thing. We've covered that off. I would like there to be the weekends, generally speaking, but across the course of the season, when we turn up at a Grand Prix, we're talking about, geez, we could have a race winner from McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, or Ferrari this weekend. Throw another team in there if you want. Replace one or the other. I don't really care, but they're the top 4 teams. I don't want to turn up and go, wow, there's no point talking about Ferrari and which one of the McLarens is going to win this weekend type thing. No, let's have a bit more of an open space. And my final one, which is the big one, and I feel, I don't necessarily think anything is deserved in sport, but I feel like this is the one that is about as deserved as it gets and would be the perfect way just to kind of hang the boots up and walk off into the sunset. But a Lewis Hamilton 8th World Drivers' Championship at the end of the 2026 World Championship would be would be amazing. As I say, I don't think anything is deserved. I don't believe in that, but I feel like this is about as close as you possibly get to it. And say, Lewis, what a guy, best or most decorated Formula One driver of all time. Thanks very much. Have a great retirement type thing.
Yeah, nice. I have 3 as well. I have 3, but you know how some families do like early Christmas, where for whatever reason, maybe it's a split family across a different household or something.
Yeah.
Couple of different times they will do early presents, right?
Okay.
I've already had one of my Christmas wishes come true.
Oh.
And we talked about it earlier. He's gone. Get Tifuck, Helmut Marko, pack your bags, get yourself off into that sheltered, assisted living retirement home. May we never say your stupid name again. Well done for doing stuff in the past, whatever. You're a cunt now. Fuck off. Already come true. Santa's real. Number 2.
Yes.
I just want carnage next year. Not physical carnage. I don't want crashes and collisions and all of that kind of thing. I just want, and I think it does kind of link up with you a little bit, and it's not exactly a rogue shout for a Formula One fan, but I want surprise Q1, Q2 knockouts. I want jumbled orders. I want to shake a bag and roll the dice out afterwards, and that's our finishing order for it. And we did actually, you didn't get to see a huge amount on the broadcast. You got a good chunk of that this year with the midfield teams. Okay, the front was relatively decided. But new regs, hopefully they get it wrong. Hopefully, like, development is quick and we get to a point where, you know, a little bit like, was it 22? The Aston Martin just pissed it, and didn't fully piss it, he didn't win a race, but Aston Martin were having a wonder run at the front, and then by like the European summer break or whatever, they were back in like P13. I was like, oh, okay. I would like a few of those stories. I don't even mind if they are short-lived. I don't mind if Alpine win the first 2 races and come last for the next 22 of them. Like, just that kind of carnage business is what I want. And my last one does unfortunately contradict your one, and it slightly contradicts me as a fan of Papaya. I would like a new world champion in 26. I don't care who it is out of the pricks that don't have one already. I'm also prepared to let Alonso... It's been long enough for Alonso. He can come back again. He's allowed to be a new one again.
But particularly with David Attenborough as his race engineer.
Exactly. I'm putting him back in the pool, right? That's like a 10-year grace period or whatever. He's allowed back in. I just want a new world champion next year. Whether that's Oscar because I'm a McLaren boy in Australia, great. Whether that's Jorge. I mean, if Jorge can come through this year, he was a sleeper agent this year with how he drove, I think, and what he got out of it. I'm kind of bored of Max winning now. It's been nice that Lando's had one. Charles Leclerc. Wouldn't mind a Charles Leclerc, world drivers champion. Just give me a new... Don't care about the constructors. New drivers champion, please. That's what I would like.
Oh, no, I'll pay it. I don't mind it. I think, hey, look, they're all good wishes. You've had one come true already. So we're 1 from 6, which I think is a good place to be. It's a good place to be, and I feel like we could get to the end of it, and we could have 2 of 6.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I think so. So.
Yeah, because you don't always get what you want, kids, do you?
No, you put a list together. You don't expect everything off the list.
No, exactly.
You just provide a list to be picked from. It's a shopping list of wishes.
Precisely.
Right.
You just don't know what the elves are working on.
Exactly. What are you working on, you little elf? What can people see you doing on the internet?
At the moment, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't sneeze down a microphone. So it's been fairly limited, but there's still some cricket going on. It's dog shit. I am an England cricket fan, and that does make the world of content slightly more challenging now, the fact that is all over. But if you do like cricket stuff, have a check out of Dan Jads or Dan Jads' Cricket Club on YouTube, and that would be good. AB, you are still over in Australia land, so you can follow yourself on socials. But other than that, it's a case of you're almost in kind of hibernation, aren't you, I suppose?
Yes, very much so. I'm on my own winter break, so give any attention you were going to pay to me, you can pay to Lapdown Pod on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. You can go and do that on there. We had some lovely interaction with people through the back end of the year. Loads of new friends on YouTube. Make sure you actually follow the pod as well in your app of choice. Just helps kind of bolster those on there. Make sure you get full episodes, whether that's on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or anything like that. We'll be back at some point soon. There is no schedule at the minute. You'll work it out. Make sure you ding bells, etc. And then you'll know when the episodes come on. But until next time, have a wonderful festive period if you're celebrating things in the festive period. If not, just enjoy the end of the year. We'll be back to talk about UF1 stuff soon. Do it a bit.
See ya.